ahead and take our notes, go over our warm-up. We're going to be graphing lines, guys, till June. Okay, so that means that we're not going to stop until we're making sure that we know how to graph a line. We cannot go on to next semester unless we know how to graph a line, every kind of line, no matter how it's written to me. So we're going to make sure that we feel good about this so that next year you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad we got that over with. All right, here we go. Letter A. I need to hear some voices, please. JJ, here we go. We have 3 equals -3 minus 6y. Plus 9x. What did you do first, JJ? I have a question, everybody. Here we go. Jason, are there any like terms with x, 9x? Are there any 9x terms? No. Are there any 6y terms? Are there any y terms to combine? Stop taking your pen, please. How about -3? Are there any more other constants?
Yes.
Yes. Is that constant on the same side? No, eyes up here, please. Is that constant on the same side as the equal sign, or it's on the opposite side?
Opposite side.
So if it's across the equal sign, I'm going to do the opposite operation. What is the opposite operation of a -3? Very good. That's why JJ said he's going to add 3 on both sides. Jaden, can you help me out, babe? What is 3 plus 3? 6. And what is -3 plus 3? Jaden, what happens to this right here? It goes away, which is what we wanted. Hannah, what's left over on the right-hand side?
6.
Beautiful. Noah, remind me what letter we're trying to get by itself. The Y, very good. Annette, how can I get the Y by itself? What should be my next step? What letter should I get rid of next? Should I get rid of that -6 or should I get rid of the 9 and the X? Okay, but the -6 is attached to the Y. Remember that we go in opposite order. Can you move your chair and face me? We go in opposite order of PEMDAS. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we have to go in the opposite direction. Annette, you with me? So I had to get rid of whoever's adding or subtracting to the Y. So who's adding or subtracting to the Y? The 9x or the 6? Say it louder. The 9x. So who do we want to get rid of next? Yeah. So how do you get rid of a positive 9x? Beautiful. We're going to subtract on both sides. And what do you get, Alana, when you subtract on both sides? Are these like terms? No. One says 6 and one says -9x. So am I going to go -3x? No. All right, Jacob. What is 6 minus 9x? How do you write that? Yeah, you just write 6 minus 9x. But what letter do we like to put first? The 6 first or the -9x first? Yeah, so let's do that. -9x plus 6 equals, what's left over here, Camden? Almost.
-6y.
Beautiful. -6y. Steven, how do I get rid of this -6? Divide everything by -6. Everything by -6, not just one of the things, all of them. -9 over -6 is going to be reduced to 3 over 2x. If you're not convinced of that, all I need you to do is divide the top and bottom. Divide the top by 3 and divide the bottom by 3, and you're going to get 3 over 2. Savannah, how come it's positive now?
Because since we were subtracting from the negative, the 2 negatives would be positive.
Is this what we did? Did we subtract here?
No, wait, we added it.
We added? We multiplied?
Oh wait, we
How did we get, what did we do with this -6?
the -6 was divided.
Very good. We divided everything by -6. Okay? Don't feel bad, because if you had a question, somebody else probably had that same question. So, why is it positive, though, is what I'm asking you?
Because we're dividing.
We're dividing. And what's a negative divided by a negative? Is that a good marriage or a bad marriage?
A good one.
It's a good marriage. Very good. So, I think you guys over here, you may have had a negative right here, but this is a positive 3 halves. Yeah. Ben, what is 6 divided by -6? Yep, that's a -1 equals y. So now we're going to graph this bad boy. Yes.
Why do you divide by 3?
To reduce it.
Like this, where'd you get the 3 from?
Oh, because 9 over 6 reduces to 3 over 2. Ready? Take your calculators out. Let me prove it to you. What's 9 divided by 6? Don't yell it out. What's 9 divided by 6? What do you get? 1.5. What's 3 divided by 2? No, you get the same thing. Right? So if you reduce the top and the bottom, can you input this for me? When you reduce the top and the bottom to smaller numbers, as long as you reduce the top and the bottom by the same number, it's the same value. Okay? All right, now we need to graph this bad boy. All right, Jeremiah, where should I start? What is my home base? I didn't think I heard you. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said negative.
Yep, that's right, -1, very good. So you're gonna go down to -1 and make a dot because of this bad boy right here. Amelia, what's my navigation system tell me to do? Alana, move your chair, babe.
Go up
Every
3
day.
over 2.
Up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. Jacob, is this going uphill or downhill? Very good. So you're gonna go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 2. And there we go. What's your question, Jacob? What's your question? Then stop talking. Because all you're doing is disrupting people's learning. So if you want to ask a question, please ask. Do you have a question, babe? You're explaining it now? Okay. Any questions on letter A? All right, Moses, ready to start letter B for me? Let's see how you guys started B. Do we need a quiz or do we understand this? Miss Riad, I don't think we need a quiz because I can prove to you right now that I know what we're doing. This is the time to prove to me that you know what you're doing. Okay? All right, Moses, go ahead, sweetheart. What did you notice first? Yeah, you noticed the y's, right? Is there anybody to combine with that -35? Why not? It's a constant. Are there any other constants? What's a constant? A number without a variable, right? Jaden, are you with me? Okay, can you act like you're with me? I want to be able to believe you. Ready? Thank you. Perfect. All right, is there anything with an x term? Is there another term that's x?
No.
So what do you guys see? Just the y's, right? Question, is the y on the same side, so we're going to combine like terms? Or is it an opposite side, so I'm going to use an opposite operation? Opposite operation. So Moses, what should I do first? Very good. I'm going to subtract y on both sides. Jeremiah, what is -6y minus another y?
7, -7.
Beautiful. -7y. Not 5, huh? It's not 5. What's left over on this side, Noah?
Oh, the 5x minus 35.
Beautiful. Jameson, now what should I do? What's the letter that I want by itself again?
Y, so you should divide by -7.
Very good. Divide everything by -7. Nicely done. Jaden, can you tell me what's left over when you divide by -7, please? Is it positive or negative? Uh-oh. Is it good marriage or bad marriage? It's a bad marriage, right? So -5/7 x. And then what about this marriage? Positive what? 5. Good. So we're going to graph this. Hannah, what should I do first to graph? The +5. And do I go up, down, left, or right? Positive, right? So I go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jason, now what?
And then from there, you have to start at your, where you have to go down 5,
Down 5.
and then you have to
Run
run 7.
7. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Miss Riad, how come here it said 5 over -7, and then you changed it to negative 5 over 7. Is this a good marriage or a bad marriage? Bad marriage. Is this a good marriage or a bad marriage? So they're both bad marriages. It doesn't matter. It's negative 5/7. It doesn't matter where you put the negative. Let me prove it to you. If you go down 5 over 7, which is this, look, this is the same line as going up 5 over 7. That's still the same line. Do you guys see that? All right, so don't get freaked out about, oh my gosh, you moved the negative. Why? Because it's the same number. Negative 5 over 7 is the same thing as 5 over negative 7. Let me prove it to you. Take out your calculators. Here you go. Jacob? Let's do this with me. Ready? Do negative 5. Please, take out your calculators. Please do this with me. Negative 5 divided by 7. Jeremiah, where's your calculator? That's not okay. That's like me coming here and saying, yeah, guys, I can't teach you. I didn't bring my markers. Like, I didn't bring my whiteboard. Right? Jaden, what'd you get, babe? Negative 5 divided by 7. All right, if you don't have a calculator, you get to stand up. Just stand up today. That's ridiculous. Who else doesn't have a calculator? Just stand up. Annette, help me out, baby. What's negative 5 divided by 7, please? 0. Louder, please. Isn't it negative, though? Negative 5 divided by 7. What is it, Stephen? All right, that's good enough. Now let's do this one. Jason, ready? Can you do 5 divided by negative 7, please?
0 or negative 0, 7.
Same exact decimal, right, guys? So these mean the same thing. All right, so we're going to connect the dots here. And that's our line. Let's do one more and then we can start today's notes. Letter C. Jacob, please be ready to tell me what to do first. We have a 3x minus x minus y equals y plus 20. Got a lot going on here. Do you see any like terms, babe?
Yeah.
Where?
I would add the y because
That's okay too. What would you do first?
you add y on both sides.
Yeah, good. All right, so he noticed that these are like terms, right, Noah? But he also noticed they're on opposite sides of the equal sign, so he has to do opposite operations. Very good. So we're going to add y and add y. And then, do you notice something else right here, Jacob?
Yeah,
Yes, 3x take away an x is 2x's. Very good. All right, Emilio. What's 3x minus x again?
3.
So I have 3, and then I have a 1 right here. What's 3x minus 1x?
2x.
Very good, 2x. And then we took away this y equals, what do we have over here, Moses? What's a y plus a y? 2 y's plus 20. What should I do now? Jaden? Divide everything? We want to get x by itself? Almost. What letter do we want by itself again? Very good. We want the y by itself, so we got both of these guys to get rid of. Should we divide first? Okay, so remember we talked about it here. Do we add and multiply first? I mean, add and subtract first, or multiply and divide first? Remember we have to go in opposite order. Yeah, so what are we going to subtract, Jaden? Yeah, we're going to subtract 20 on both sides. All right, Hannah, help me out. Are these like terms? All right, JJ, what should I write if they're not like terms? Can we put the letter first? Can we put the variable first? Equals. Yeah, guys, we're just putting these side by side. Okay? We're just putting them side by side. Jason, 2x minus 20 equals 2y. Now what?
You have to divide.
Divide everything by 2. Ben, can you tell me what happens when you divide everything by 2?
Oh,
X, okay. 2 cancels, right? Not the x, right?
2.
Uh-huh.
Then it's -10.
Yep.
10 equals y.
All right. Jeremiah, how do I graph this? What's my home base?
-1.
Ope, what is that right there?
-10.
-10. Sorry, I should have pulled this down more. Camden, if I have a home base of -10, do I go up, down, left, or right? Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the way down here. Savannah, what's my navigation system say?
You're gonna go to -10.
What's my navigation? What's the number that's right here? How many x's is that?
1.
It's just 1x, right? Which is 1 over 1?
Huh?
Which is
Oh.
1 over 1? Okay, so what's my navigation? Am I going to go uphill or downhill, guys? Up. Is it positive or is it negative? Positive, right? So where do I go from my home base, Savannah?
You're gonna go to -10
I'm going to start at -10, and then my navigation tells me to do what?
to go over 1.
Up. How much? Very good. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. And that's my line. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 is, Miss Riad, I still don't even know how to start these. I get confused. When do you combine? I don't understand. When do you move it to the other side? A 5 is, Miss Riad, I can pretty much combine like terms. I know when to divide, when to add, when to subtract. I know that graphing starts at the y-intercept, and then I know how to use my slope. Where are you from 1 to 5? All right, looks like most people's numbers went up. If our numbers didn't go up, just like Kobe, if his free throws sucked, what did he do? He practiced, right? He came in after time. You guys, when I met Kobe Bryant, I met him twice, okay? He was the first one on the court at 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, wow, he's the best player out there. The fact that he's the first one out there, that was like kind of cool. And the last one to leave. So even though his free throws were on point the entire practice, the entire session, he was not missing. It was pretty remarkable to see. And he stayed after to practice his free throws. So we need to follow that example. Even if somebody's great at something, they keep practicing to stay great. Do you understand? So if I don't feel good about this stuff, I'm not just going to wake up one morning and be like, I know how to graph a line. It's not just going to come to me miraculously, right? I need to practice. So even from yesterday to today, I see a tremendous amount of growth in you guys. When you guys started this today, yesterday, how many for real, be honest? How many of you guys hesitated to even start yesterday, for real? Yesterday you were like, I don't even know how to start. The warm-up. Yeah, right? But today, most of you guys dived right in. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow now that we keep practicing? You're going to get even better. Okay? All right, Noah? All right. This is absolute value equations. We're going to take our notes now. They're really, really short, and then we're going to start our homework. Tonight's homework is chapter 2, page 22 and 23. Write this down, please. We're going to do numbers 145 through 148, and then 150 through 156. It's on the board. It's on that board. It's now on here. It's on your stamp sheet. As a reminder from yesterday, the absolute value of x equaling 9. When I say absolute value, we all got candy for this the other day. The definition of an absolute value, do not yell it out. I want you to remember the definition of an absolute value meaning what? What does it mean? When you remember, raise your hand. Thank you. I see most of you looking back at your notes if you forgot. Whoa, 100% hands up. Nice. JJ, the definition of absolute value is? Distance from 0. Nicely done. The distance from 0. So if your distance is 9, that means you can be in 2 places. Steve, do you remember what 2 places you could be? Very good. If you are 9 feet away from 0, you could be at 9 or you could be at -9. Because the absolute value of 9 is equal to 9 and the absolute value of -9 is also equal to 9. Because if I take this -9 and plug it in here, I get 9. If I take this 9 and plug it in here, I get 9. If I have 3 degrees and I'm using highlighters and I'm using color, I need you guys to do the same thing. Here comes Lorenzo to check. Literally, Lorenzo's going to hover over you and make sure that you guys are using highlighters, please. Let me know who doesn't have one, babe. Ready? Let's take it up a notch on what you're going to see on tonight's homework. So, I want to remind you that if you want to see what the 2 answers are going to be, you need to take the 2 answers that you got and see when you take the absolute value of -9, what is the absolute value of -9, everybody? 9. What is the absolute value of 9? When I'm asking you for the absolute value, what am I asking you? What's the definition of absolute value?
What's the distance?
Yeah, the distance from 0. Okay? So here we go. Example 2 is what you're going to be doing on tonight's homework. You're going to be doing something like this. Absolute value of 2x minus 3 equaling 7. Thank you. So that means I have 2 options here. The inside can be 2 answers. What is the absolute value of 7? 7. Everybody together. What is the absolute value of 7?
7.
What is the absolute value of -7?
7.
So the inside can be 7 because you get 7, or the inside can be -7 because you get 7. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
So the inside has 2 options. It can be -7 or it can be 7. So we're going to tell everybody, all right, the inside can be 7 or the inside can be -7. Oops, sorry, honey. Those are our 2 options. Hannah, stick with me, babe. God bless you. Hannah, what should I do first now that I want to solve for x?
You want to add 3
Yep, add 3 to both sides. Add 3, add 3. What do you get, Jason?
You get
0. 7 plus 3 is 0.
Oh, 10.
2x equals 10. And then how do I solve for x? Jason?
Huh?
How do I solve for
you
x?
divide.
Divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 5. That's one answer. Moses, how about this side? What should I do?
Add 3.
Yep, add 3 and add 3. And what do you get, Moses? 2x equals? -4. Good job. And then what do I do with this 2? Divide by 2. X equals? Almost? -2. How do I know I'm right? Do I just pray and, oh my God, I hope I'm right, go to church? I'm going to substitute in here. I love that word. We're going to check both of these. Here we go. Ben, let's do 5. Ready? Take this 5, plug it in here. What's 5 times 2? -3? 7? What's the absolute value of 7? What am I asking you? When I ask you for the absolute value of 7, what am I asking you? Thank you very much. I'm asking you for the distance from 0. Camden, ready? Let's do -2. You ready? Take this -2, plug it here. What's -2 times 2? -4. What's -4? Take away another 3. -7. What's the absolute value of -7? 7. What am I asking you when I ask you what is the absolute value of -7?
The distance from 0.
The distance from 0. Nicely done. How much time do I have there? All right, example 3. Sometimes it's not ready to be separated into cases, by the way. We're going to call this being separated into cases. Case 1 and case 2, right? Because you could be positive or you could be negative, right? Jacob, you get to stand. Here we go. Example 3, please. I put it on remind. We're not ready yet to do the 2 cases. You got to get everybody off stage first. Thank you, Jacob. We're going to add 5 to both sides. Add 5, add 5. I get 2 times the absolute value of x is equal to 16. How do I get rid of this 2, Alana? This is the same thing as 2 times x equals 16. Yep. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. So I get absolute value of x is equal to 8. What are my 2 answers? Now I can have the 2 cases because the absolute value is by itself. If you are 8 feet away from 0, you can have 2 positions. What are those 2 positions?
8.
Nicely done. 8 and negative 8. Beautifully done. How do I know I'm right? Substitute back in and check. Here we go. Let's check 8 and let's check negative 8. Jameson, check 8 with me. Plug in 8 right here. What's the absolute value of 8?
2 times 8 is 8.
Listen to what I asked you. What is the absolute value of 8?
8.
8 times 2?
16.
16. Minus 5?
11.
11. Let's do negative 8. Ready, Emilio? Ready, ready? Negative 8. What's the absolute value of negative 8?
Is
8 times 2?
16,
Minus 5.
11.
Questions? Yes,
Do
Habibi.
you have to show like the check? I mean like the check.
Tonight you do. Yes, you do have to check your work tonight. All right, last one and then you guys can start your homework. Here we go. Absolute value of 3x minus 5 is equal to 13. What should I do first, Noah?
Oh, you take the 3 out of the absolute value.
Oh, but it's not ready yet. Why?
Oh, it's minus.
Very good. Now we can do what you want to do, but first we got to do this part, okay, babe? So the absolute value of 3x is equal to 18. Jaden, now I have the 2 cases. The inside can be what and what? Oh, you're already jumping to the answer. So first, pretend there's no number in here. The absolute value can be 18, or what can be inside? Negative 18. So you have the 2 cases, babe, right? So you already given me the answer, but you got to slow down because there's 2 answers. The absolute value can be 18, or the absolute can be negative 18. Are y'all with me? All right. Moses, now what? And we got, yep, that's the one that Jaden just told me. JJ, what's the other one? Yep, negative 6. So we're going to go ahead and check it. Savannah, help me out. Let's check 6. 6 times 3 is?
18.
18. What's the absolute value of 18?
18.
Minus 5? 13. Jason, ready? Let's do the other one. Ready?
Yes.
Negative 6 times 3? Negative 6 times 3? One more time. Negative 18. Absolute value of negative 18?
Hmm?
The absolute value of negative 18? 18 minus 5? 13. Nicely done. Give me a summary, please. Today I learned.